Yeah, we're learning to be a better gamer here on the Day 9 Daily from SOS. Ooh, who's gone for himself a sexy 3-gate opening versus Zerg. Say, huh? Now, why did this all work? A very early scout from SOS identifying the speedlings and now answering very appropriately. Talked about how this has the nice skeleton structure of a normal looking opening. A 4th gateway. Ooh, why 4 gates? Just to, you know, expect the unexpected. As much as I like to talk about playing as unbelievably thinly as possible, a player like SOS is a great teacher for when thin is too thin. He's going to get an extra gateway. Now you might think to yourself, well, is there a way maybe to cut this? Couldn't I be super good? Don't worry. What SOS is really saying is, I could either get a cannon, or I could build a damn gateway as part of a wall off and cut the cannon. Ooh! I dig that. Now that very fast Stargate, I think very reasonably, is going for an Oracle. So that way Shine isn't allowed to power however he wants, but Shine doesn't have a really fast layer. Because Shine opened up Gas Pool. He doesn't really have all that great of an economy. Now look at this slick move. Hallucinated Oracle first to get the scouting done. Ever valuable. And then a follow-up Oracle that's real. A hallucinated Immortal to do the Decepticoning. Isn't this sick? The sickest hallucinations of all time. Now, I'm going to ignore this for a moment. What SOS is going to do next, he's just going to chrono a lot of Void Rays and expand. It's so simple. This is such an easy to hold third if you've been able to hold your second. So he just gets it set right the hell up with his super mega see-all mothership core. How beautiful. Soon enough, SOS is going to be powering out a whole bunch of other sweet crud out of the Stargate. But I mean, along this path that we've seen, well, goodness, he can't possibly really have all that much in terms of units. He's either staying low-tech and getting a lot of units, which is what the Void Ray's for, or he's going high-tech and he doesn't have a lot of units, which is what the Oracle's for. And that's what the Nexus is for. In fact, SOS doesn't have gas at his natural. That's how frickin' early he took this third. What a bad ass. And now, all the usual forcings that we see. Hydra Den, Spore Crawler, more queens and more careful positionings. All of them have to come up. All it takes is one Void Ray. And look at this Void Ray. It's able to guard the main, guard the third, pop over by the natural. More gateways going down a full wall off of buildings with just a single Zealot there. More Void Rays coming up. Ooh! So swanky. Upon the sighting of the burrow, a cannon goes down. We also see a Twilight Council going down. Will it be for Blink? Probably not. Probably not. Might be for some Zealots with charge. Think about it. Well, at this point in time, looks like we've seen some ranged Hydra. We see some Roach Hydra getting ready to gear up. Ooh, yeah, actually maybe we do want Stalkers. We can keep building Void Rays. We can go for some sort of Void Ray Blink Stalker play. I'm personally one of the biggest fans in the world of Zealot Charge Void Ray with Templar, as is SOS. If you've ever watched SOS play this matchup, you'll notice how frequently he goes Void Ray, Charge Zealot, Archon. It's such a scary mixture. It obliterates everything. And SOS, who normally would want to be getting geysers really quickly, waits till he's saturated with 16 at each place before building the gas. Same thing happened here. Waited until he had 16 mining minerals before he threw down these geysers. You'll notice our Forge had one of the latest +1 upgrades of all time. It's all good in the hood. don't have a boatload of high-value units at this point. This was mainly Zealots, which we see here. The Zealots don't have charge. We have a couple Sentries, which are about to be super dead, and we have 3 Void Rays. I'm actually going to back this attack up right beforehand. This is just a nice example of the value of Zealots. Look at this army. 15 Hydras, 10 Roaches, 31 Zerglings. Army tab shows a much smaller army for the Protoss pieces. And I think most awesomely, I don't even think that there is a... Is there a Nexus Cannon here? Yeah, but the Zerg pulls way out of range of it anyways. Go, little zealots, go, do-do-do. Little zealots, do your thing. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Zealots are amazing. They're so amazing. Woo-hoo. If you thought the Zealots were only okay. That's right. Not even heavy onto the Void Ray count. Just straight into 10 gates of Zealot Templar, baby. 3 Void Rays to boot. They're adding a whole lot of power to this. We're starting to see some cannons getting produced. We're seeing the Robo finally comes down. It's actually a good spread of cannons everywhere except in the main, because we have a Mothership Core protecting this right flank, and then we have a lot of good vision control here protecting the left one of the main. Pretty schwanky, eh? Pretty gosh darn schwanky. Now, Swarm Hosts would initially seem like one of the best things against Zealot Arcannon because of the fact that Zealots aren't very good against Locusts. In fact, I'd actually call them horrifically bad, but they're so fast that they can actually get around Swarm Hosts really well. And if you can just storm down one round of the Locusts, you can get right up on top of everything and just end the game. And then we see, last but not least, this usual mix of Robo and Colossus and other schwanky thingies. Now, what's pretty cool is that this mix of Zealot, Archon, Stalker, and Storms and all that stuff is way better at attacking than you would ever give it credit for, because most Protosses cower behind force fields and have Colossus firing away. But I mean, this army can just blast. The Mothership Core is not here. It's still sitting at home protecting. Keep in mind, we don't have Phoenixes. We don't have that luxury of anti-air defense. We actually didn't have Blink at that point, so it's probably good that it stays home. But now we have another base up, and why this base? Because it's along the direction of attack. We can expand that way and attack in that way. It's terrifying. Swarm Hosts. I'm sure you've seen them. Swarm Hosts in the Nation War. Terrifying feat. Aggression and gateway units. Counterattacking, waiting for good opportunities. Slays the Swarm Hosts. Slay. MC is really good at taking them down. I thought Titan was doing a pretty sweet job himself. This expansion goes down. Lesai. But good Blink micro. And continued attacks. Yeah, look at this. Great aggression, continued attacking. Nothing complicated about the composition at this point. It's largely Stalkers with Colossus. A very nice force to go toe-to-toe with this sort of Swarm Host force. Actually, what is the composition for Zerg? Only 9 Swarm Hosts? Nice. It's mostly Roaches. Super nice. Nothing's there. Oh, I can't. Oh. Yeah. Now, because we went for that very early Zealot Templar thing, we already have enough Templar energy stored up for some Stormu. We can continue to do the Zealot counterattacks, and the Zealots have charge, so they get their little fiesta. And then I think there's nothing particularly mind-blowing about the build order stuff at this point, and that's really what I wanted to talk about today, so I'm just going to stop talking and watch you watch SOS kill Shine. 9 swarm. Oops. You just lost tab. Not favoring the Zerg in this instance. Fourths bases. Yeah. Woohoo. Void Ray Colossus makes sense when the Zerg does not have a really good economy. When the Zerg does have a really good economy, he can just sort of decimate this force by overrunning it. In terms of just straight value, this army kicks ass. Do-do-do-do-do. Now, one of my favorite things that SOS just tackles this head on. He just goes straight in and storms the crap out of all the locusts. Oh, yeah. What looked like it was on Razor's edge is in fact nowhere even close to a Razor. So that's the game. I did it. Now, Drodo asks, Day 9, how important is creep spread against Protoss doing this composition? I mean, in general, creep spread's just good, but it's not going to have a... nothing actually has as tremendous an impact. Creep doesn't have as tremendous an impact on anything as it does on playing versus Marine Medevac. I mean, you need creep in that matchup. In this... with one of those more zealot-heavy mixes, creep is really good for sort of kiting and stuff like that, but Protoss will generally still be the one who's forcing an engagement by rushing really quickly to the to where the battle has to happen. Like the Protoss will rush to a hatchery or something like that and just kind of force the battle to occur there. So yeah, let's talk about what we looked at today. Start off with a game from Crank, showcasing the ever-so-standard of Protoss versus Zerg. Phoenix with Colossus to distract and take a third into a big Blink Stalker Twilight Council push. We then saw SOS tweak this build quite a lot to get it to suit Alterzim Stronghold. We even talked about how the follow-up suited Alterzim Stronghold, having done that build. And then we got a chance to see this game on Daedalus Point where SOS did a weird-looking build that just so happened to be perfect for Daedalus Point. Alright, let's take questions. Subscribers off. Just a reminder, tomorrow I'm just going to have an excuse to play Hearthstone in the Hearthstone Decktacular. Oh, Utoro Kishoya. The usual great questions coming right out the gate. Crank cut mad corners against Barcode with a gateway expand on Frost, where Zerg has a better chance to do early damage. However, SOS went Forge first on Alterzim Stronghold. Why wouldn't SOS cut corners in that map? And then Utori talks about a whole bunch of other things. I think probably the biggest reason is that you cut a corner because you're going to return back to somewhere safe. Like, ooh, I'm going to skip getting a cannon early because I know Zerg isn't going to make any units early. But I'm going to get a cannon later because the Zerg's eventually going to have units. That's a really good example of corner cutting. So for the game that happened on Frost, Crank cut a corner early. He didn't get a forge. He didn't even get that much defense. He just went for a fast Nexus because the Nexus cannon itself can defend that expansion. On Alterzim Stronghold, a photon overcharge on your main Nexus doesn't quite reach the ramp. So you don't have that extra defense. You do have, a ramp, so you can like force field it and totally clean it up. A cannon on top of the ramp is really strong, but you don't have the photon cannon there. There's going to be the photon overcharge there. You don't have the photon overcharge there. So that's the biggest reason that I would point to. So yeah, I mean, if you tried to be greedy and cut corners, you might just die on Alterzim Stronghold to just something very normal. Even like a one-base Ling Roach attack that sounds stupid. If you cut the cannon, you die because the mothership cannon doesn't get there. The Nexus cannon doesn't reach there. Hope that was useful, Utori. So, Executoradune. Oh, Executoradune. Oh, I see how you spelled it. Day 9. How would SOS adapt his build to a 3-base Mutaling on Daedalus Point? 3-gate's traditional weakness has always been Mutas, because you drunk so much gas into sentries early. Please clarify. Great question. So first and foremost, there's 2 key scout points that we see out of SOS. Come on, Switch, damn it. The first one is right at the start. Pylon gets planted and SOS immediately goes and checks. This... Let's talk about this. Let's talk about a fast Ling Muta play in the context of what SOS is seeing right now. So first, SOS sees this. Now, what's probably going to happen is that Shine is going to go Ling Speed, and then expand, and then Shine has to spend a very long time playing the catch-up game in drones. He not only favored building Zerglings over drones early, but also he doesn't have a second hatch, so he's lost a lot of time in larva. So almost certainly Shine is going to be following this up with a lot of droning and linging. Or he's going to be going for some sort of really fast layer. So, whoops, I went way too far forward. So there's a second scout point, which is right when this mothership core pops out. Here comes SOS. He just scouts right away to get as much information as possible. So this is such an important thing to note. Indeed, Ling Muta normally is great at beating down these one-base plays because so many Protosses spend so much gas on sentries. But here, if SOS here sees that there's a super fast layer, he can just go Stargate, Zealot, Zealot, expand. And he knows he can't be up against a really good high Ling count. He just physically can't. So instead of building sentries, he would build not sentries. And then the Stargate would be finishing up right around now, and a scout would be able to move out right around now to be able to begin getting that Phoenix count up very early. And then correspondingly, you can just get your Zealot count up really early. I mean, honestly, like, Zealot Phoenix is an amazing answer to Ling Muta if you're both low econ. That doesn't quite work if you're in high econ situations, because, like, he can just go Roach Corruptor and just kill you with Roach Corruptor. Let's take this last question from GenCar92. SOS went for a 3rd base with very few units on Alterzim. What other maps is this possible on? And more importantly, why haven't we seen Manfred in such a long time? Manfred! Alright, I'm gonna find him. Manfred! Uh-oh. Is he down here? Here he is. Yeah. Manfred! Yeah. Alright. Other maps that this is good on. I don't know. Big ones. With easy to defend bases. In general, it's less the maps and more the qualities that you want to be looking for. So those qualities would be super small distances between the choke to your original two bases and the third. So on this map, one of those qualities, see, look how close this third is to the choke between the original two bases. Here's the choke to the original two bases, here's the third. So that's one of the qualities that's really good. The second quality that you'd want to look for that 3-base build is the area you have to defend for your original two bases to be pretty easy to hold. So Daedalus Point qualifies on the first point, short distance between the choke to your first two bases and the choke to your third. But it fails on the second one. It doesn't have an easy to defend choke for the first two bases. So that's what I would talk about for the first part. For the second part, which is where we saw, you know, Zealot Archon, there's Zealot warp-in everywhere, that's just a huge map. The huger the map, the better warp-ins are. And also, the bigger the distance between the bases, the better Zealot counter warp-ins are. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to play Hearthstone tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show.